Joined now by Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A., I can't wait for this presser. How does Jeannie Buss sell to all of America that Frank Vogel was their top choice all along to run the Lakers show?
Well, first of all, she's not going to be able to sell it. That's number one. I mean, Frank Vogel is respected. Make no mistake about it. He coached 10 years in Indiana. The 5 of the last 6 years, he made the postseason, including 4 straight years and 2 consecutive trips to the Eastern Conference Finals. The man can coach, but it's not about that. He's not a name with sizzle, and we all get that. But here's the biggest reason she's not going to be able to sell him, because he's not expected to be the coach long-term for the Los Angeles Lakers. There's a reason why, whether it was Monty Williams, whether it was Ty Lue or anybody else, the caveat was that you had to accept Jason Kidd on your squad as a developmental coach. It was incredibly imperative to the Los Angeles Lakers that this took place. So one would ask the question, well, why not just hire Jason Kidd as your head coach? Well, it's very, very simple. He has a relatively uncomfortable past. One involved domestic violence. Obviously, it ended up in a divorce. There was a driving while intoxicated charge that he had to deal with as well. Not to mention the fact that whether it was in Brooklyn or Milwaukee, he gave the impression that he wanted more than just head coaching responsibilities. He wanted to run the show. And so as a result of that, it was a struggle for him to get back into the league in a head coaching spot. They knew they couldn't sell him to the public in Los Angeles. They went the route of Frank Vogel. Why? Because he accepted 3 years at $5 million per year, as opposed to the 3 years, $6 million per year that Ty Lue was offered. So you're saving yourself $3 million there by choosing Frank Vogel. Not to mention the fact, if there's even a modicum of success that he does not have, Jason Kidd is in line to be the next head coach. He's already on your bench. Obviously, he can maturate himself to the situation, and that's the coach they wanted all along. Kurt Rambis wanted him as coach. Jeannie Buss and the rest of the staff, they wanted him as coach. They knew they couldn't sell him to the public, but for right now, Frank Vogel is the safe pick with Jason Kidd on his bench. And you can expect Jason Kidd to be the next head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers within 2 years.
Stephen, everything you said tells me that Frank Vogel really wanted this job, right? I mean, no coach, respected, as you said, as he is throughout the league, wants to be force-fed an assistant who now also has to be looking over his shoulder because Kidd will likely be the next guy. This is an incredibly difficult spot, I think, for Vogel that Ty Lue didn't want to deal with, evidently.
Well, it's not that difficult, and here's why. Excuse me, is it more difficult than unemployment? Because nobody was knocking on his door to hire him as a head coach. I can tell you right now. Search the other 29 teams in the National Basketball Association. Nobody was looking for Frank Vogel to be the next head coach. That's not to disrespect him, because, again, he can coach, and he's accomplished some things. But the new regime that exists in the NBA, nobody was calling him. So here you have a situation, rather than appearing on Get Up with Mike Greenberg or somebody like that, you're ultimately coaching back in the NBA. You're making $5 million per year. I'm telling you right now, it's beautiful to work for ESPN. Make no mistake about it. But there isn't a guest alive that's getting paid $5 million per. That's what the Lakers are giving him. It's guaranteed at least over the first 2 years. So you're talking about $10 to $15 million. And then in the case of Jason Kidd, keep in mind, this is another reason why you know Jason Kidd is ultimately going to be the head coach. He still owed almost $10 million by the Milwaukee Bucks. So why take a job with the Lakers as an assistant, which ain't going to be paying you that much unless there's some kind of wink-wink deal in place where you know you're not leaving money on the table to come and take an assistant's job that you really never wanted because you really want to be the head coach. You know you deserve to be the head coach, but there's no way in hell you're going to get the head coaching job until you get yourself back in the league and position yourself to ultimately land that kind of job. So that's the situation that's going on in L.A. They'll sell you whatever they want to sell you, but that's why you have me on a Saturday night, because I'm here to tell you what it is.
Good to be with you. Stephen A. Smith on a Saturday night.
All right.
It's 89-84. Sixers, and they get inside.